Guys, I have waited for this day for a very long time. I'm excited to show you a major amateur radio award that yours truly just received. This is a monumental day within the KI7QCF household. So, without further ado, yeah, baby. DX Club CW, June 10th, 4 days ago. I ordered this. I paid my money to the ARRL like within minutes of getting my 100th QSL, and they shipped it, and I got it within like 4 days. So that's pretty awesome. But what is this award? The DX Club CW. This is 100 unique entities worked, 100 unique countries worked in CW in Morse code by me. And I think that's very, very cool. And I want to talk about the award really, really fast, but then I want to make kind of a brief part of the video at the end for logging. I want to talk to new people in the hobby, and I want to talk to them about logging and my thoughts on logging our contacts. But first and foremost, is this a major award? I've had some friends. Well, I had somebody tell me that you can do this in a weekend, and it to me it kind of seems downplayed, and it seems like it's not a big deal. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to tell you who told me that. I just don't think it would be productive. I'm not going to name names. But yeah, somebody told me that. In all honesty, multiple people have told me that. They said, "Oh, you can do that in a weekend." And that's definitely true. In a major DX contest, well, let me talk about that a little bit. First and foremost, it's not, I think it's highly unlikely someone can go 0 to 100, meaning you've never made a DX entity contact. You've never contacted anybody with CW, and you go 0 to 100 in a weekend. It's theoretically possible, but this is what would need to be true. You would need to be an experienced operator. You need a dang good station. You need a contest, a prominent DX contest happening, and then you're going to need good band conditions. You would kind of need all four of those things to line up. And I think as a brand new op, it's unlikely you go 0 to 100 in a weekend. Now, experienced ops, the 100 entities I just worked, they might be able to do that in a weekend, no big deal. But for me, this means a lot. This is a lot of hard work. It's really, really cool to me. And it's a goal that I set for myself when I got on the air with Morse code. I actually remember seeing K9KJ not mentioned up to this point in the video. When I would watch his key videos, that's kind of what inspired me to start my collection. I saw that up on his wall behind him, and I like literally at the time, having no idea what it was, I thought it was like, oh my gosh, that's so prestigious. That's such a cool award. And it's cool to me to think that just over a year later, I would have it. And I think it's something, if you're a new operator or even experienced operator, if you don't have that, you should be shooting for DX Century. I think it's a really cool accomplishment. Now, what's the next step? Well, you can go get another 100 and then another 100. There's 340 total. And for me, that just means a lot to get to do it with CW. But I'm going to transition the video now. I want to quickly show you guys how I log. So before we get into the computer stuff, 99% of my logging, literally, unless it's a contest at home or I'm DXing at home, it's the Ham2K Polo app. I will link in the description my walkthrough of that app, but that's happening on my phone. I'm going to show you what I do to get that log from my app. So if you're doing POTA, SOTA, anything, and you want just a really good logger, use Ham2K Polo. Again, linked in the description. But now I'm going to show you guys kind of what I do. And I really believe that logging is essential. I think it's highly recommended to do. Is it a requirement from the FCC? Not really, but you should log your contacts. Especially DX contacts. I think that's a really cool thing to track throughout your life. And I know many, many decades from now, I'll be very grateful that I have a lifelong history of my contacts I've made, especially tracked through Logbook of the World, which is what this DX Club came from. So let's dive into it. All right, guys, let's jump into my screen share here. And again, I'm linked in the description as my Ham2K Polo videos. What I will always do, there's a very simple export function. And the majority of the logs, outside of like contesting logs, which are like Cabrillo files, the majority of logs within amateur radio are an ADIF, Alpha Delta India Foxtrot.
ADIF, and those files from Ham2K Polo, I just email to myself. And the thing that I really recommend you do is have some type of central repository of log. I don't keep my main log in Ham2K Polo because that's kind of for that's Polo literally means portable log. So I'm a very all-encompassing op. I do everything. I do SKCC, I do POTA, SOTA, contesting, DXing. I'm probably leaving something out. I've always used N3FJP amateur contact log. So look here in the top left. This is n3fjp.com. I think I probably use this because I saw Thomas K4SWL using it. And I'm going to show you a few logs. I don't want it to get confusing. I'm just going to show you my workflow. And again, there's probably, my battery's turning off on my camera. There's probably a lot of people out there with much more effective log processes than me. By all means, guys, comment that in the description or comment that in the comments and then upload a video of you doing it. Help out the community. So what I do is I come in and I hit File and I'll do Import ADIF. So if I come into like my downloads, for example, this is where you'll see a lot of just like, look at just my recent logs. So this is earlier this week. These are all my POTAs. You can see my SOTA I did this morning, and I'll import those here. The cool thing about amateur contact log is I can import my ADIFs from anywhere, and this is like my central repository of information. So you can see my 14,780, 99.9% of these are CW contacts. And there's actually a few missing from here I won't get into. But this is my entire log. And you'll notice there's an E-log section. So you can actually, via an API connection, which is a techie term for two systems to communicate, two infrastructures to communicate, you can plug in APIs with Logbook of the World. It's very easy. You can literally Google how to do it, QRZ, etc. I've had my APIs at different times kind of like be glitchy or not working and the logs don't go over. So I'm actually old school. I actually just export my whole log, or I'll export my most recent records, and I'll put my entire records into my QRZ logbook. So really fast, let's go to QRZ. This is the QRZ. If you don't have a QRZ page as an amateur radio operator, I don't know what to tell you. You should definitely have a QRZ page. Go to QRZ logbook, and then right here on this gray icon on the right is where I import from ADIF. So again, I keep everything in my N3FJP. This is my central repository. This is always my default. If anything ever happened to QRZ, it got hacked, or let's say something crazy happened, right? None of us have ever heard of this happening before. The Logbook of the World got hacked. Let's say that happened. I've never heard of that before. I've only been doing amateur radio for 1 year. And that happened within 2 months of me getting my license. I just export from here. All of my data is in N3FJP. Of course, N3FJP, I think this isn't cloud hosted. I actually think this is on premise. So this is all just my data in here. Whereas QRZ, I'd have to export my logs. This is cloud hosted, right? As well as Logbook of the World. Okay, so I can import my ADIFs. And if you want to just go directly to QRZ and skip N3FJP, by all means do it. I'm just showing you that I do amateur contact log and keep that there. So once I have it in QRZ, this is where I've never had issues with my API, is you'll notice it says export all to Logbook of the World. And guys, it'll automatically replace duplicates. But I actually come into like settings here, and I usually do it from like right here, and then it'll show me what's been, you can see historically when I've sent stuff to Logbook of the World. So for the major award that I won, right, it's a major award, that is from Logbook of the World. And guys, Logbook of the World, I love QRZ, I think it's a great interface. Logbook of the World is king. If you want to take amateur radio seriously, if you want to get your DXC, your DX Century awards, please start uploading your logs to log. And I don't care if you have logs or contacts that aren't going to be there, start doing it today. I think you'll be really, really glad you did 5 years, 10 years from now. Here I can actually, once I've imported it from, by the way, exported it from QRZ and imported it into Logbook of the World, these are the two main kind of web-based platforms I do confirmations on. And all this is that when I upload my log, for those that are confused at this point, this means me and the other person I made contact with, if we both upload to these same databases, we QSL each other, which is mean we're confirming each other. And if I come into Logbook of the World right here, this is my QSOs. I go to most recent QSLs. I can see the people that have just confirmed me. HI8D, this is who got me my 100th. In fact, it was a QSO that he confirmed for me from August 22nd. French Polynesia was 99 for me, June 4th. And the QSL from him came in on the 10th. 6 days later, he gave me my 100th, and that's how I got this award. But you can see I just got Croatia confirmed me. Just on this screen, guys. Madeira Islands, Canada, US, Dominican Republic, Croatia, Italy, French Polynesia. How cool is that? I want confirmations for entities that I've worked, and it shows me the frequency, the band. And that's a cool thing when you come into your awards is you can see, and cool, check this out, right? My Hawaii log, my Finland log, my US log. If I come into my US log, you'll see I actually have 0 new QSOs here. So all these have been awarded to me, my 100 QSOs. Took me a long time to do this and was very, very cool. And then you can see by band where I made those contacts, which is really cool. So 76, is that real? No, this isn't total. This is just showing me how many entities I've worked on each band. And some of them are duplicates, right? Or actually, I don't know. I don't know what this means. Somebody help me. But the point is, upload to somewhere and then put it into Logbook of the World. I really recommend that. If I can influence, I hope to influence a lot of things within amateur radio. I want to influence us using Logbook of the World, not because I think it's great software, but I think it's universally adopted. And that's where you're going to get the most amount of DX confirmations by far. For every 1 DX confirmation I get in QRZ, I get 10 or 20 in Logbook of the World. And where I am helping a lot of new people get into the hobby, they're learning CW, they're getting licensed. I just had another person reach out today. I hope I can inspire you guys and tell you guys this is important. I don't care how you do it, if it looks anything like this, but just keep a log. If all you ever do is QSL is great, but keep a log, confirm people that have made contact with you. I think that's super important. I'm very excited to hang my award on the wall. Maybe let's figure out together where I'm going to do that. Let's see. All right, where am I going to put this bad boy? Let's just put it right here, I guess. Bye, TJ. Nah, just kidding, bro. You'll be there forever, dog. I think up there is going to look like. Check this out. Let me switch hands. I've been thinking a lot about this, guys. I'm thinking, oh geez, I don't want to break my expensive frame. I just got a Target. I'm thinking like right here. Doesn't that look good? Check that out. Oh yeah, that's where that's going.